Well, YouTubers and YouTuberettes, I got to episode 5 of Supergirl, and things are starting to either jumble or make sense. Now, both Will and Cara are working together and try to figure out what's going on with Rojas and all these disappearances, and why Will had to go very deep down, very in a quiet, to figure out all this stuff. And it turns out it's a lot more, in the words of Eddie Murphy, deep undercover towards this. And there was this Dr. Octopus ripoff that showed up from out of the blue. And apparently, Will knows the guy. Apparently, before his best friend disappeared, he was having drinks with him. And the new Catco boss was his best friend's girlfriend. And then the day that they were going to meet up and hang out again, this dude with the Dr. Ock tentacles came out from his basement and he said, "Where's his friend?" And he said, "Dead." But he thought he meant physically and mentally dead. Just mentally. And they stole a very powerful weapon and a part of a device that was in a satellite dish. With combined together, it would cause the exact same radiation temperature of the center of the sun, and ended up in Antarctica to melt the polar ice caps. With that amount of damage, the amount of danger, that would have caused a reenactment of Noah's Ark, except without a big huge boat with two of every animal, and just basically everything gets wiped out. And the opening of the VR contact lenses was all that target. While everybody was linked to that device, they've all would have been wiped out. But luckily, with Jean and Supergirl trying to lower down the water that's coming out of the polar ice caps, and luckily with her super breath she was able to close it, and luckily for Dreamer she was able to use her field to push down the huge waves which was like a huge tsunami, like that episode in Lois and Clark, New Adventures of Superman. There was a project called Shockwave, which caused an undersea tremor, which would have caused a wiping out everything. Well, luckily they didn't use Superman this time to go in the center of the wave and reversing to make it look like it's challenging itself. But luckily the Dreamer's field was able to push it down, and luckily the people wearing the lenses, they snapped out of it and ran like hell. And there's a huge connection towards that old lady that Tess Barker met, should I say. Now, now the whole Granny Goodness theory is definitely way out of there, because there's no way she's a Granny Goodness. And Lena and Hope Tessbacher were experimenting and working with Jean's brother to help him get rid of the mental block. But apparently, she succeeded when she wanted to do, and did not remove the mental block. She is now controlling him to keep him under control. She's got what she's after. And then just this, and luckily that VR system that Will was using was only just a performance in his head. So like, I thought he actually went for it, and that would have caused serious issues. But luckily it was just a VR image in his head. And when they captured the guy and had him interrogated in the DEO, apparently he has no answers, and apparently he doesn't remember or know how he got into it. And as soon as they removed the visor off his head, it was Will's best friend. He's the Doc Ock knockoff. And now, we all thought that she had nothing to do with it, but as soon as she stepped into the car, there's the old lady. She is involved. But we don't know how far and how deep involved she is. And like I said before, deep. And so I still have episode 6 to look up for Supergirl, along with other episodes of Arrow, but I'm still catching up with the other review blogs that I need to do. So, you all know what to do. So, until then, I'll see you in the next vlogs. So, over and out.